Let's get to the big breaking news coming in at the moment. The government has revamped the National Security Advisory Board. Former RAW Chief Alok Joshi has now been appointed as its chairperson. Former Western Air Commander Air Marshal PM Sinha, former Southern Army Commander Lieutenant General AK Singh, and Rear Admiral Monty Khanna are the retired officers from the military services. Rajiv Ranjan Verma and Manmohan Singh are the two retired members from the Indian Police Service in this board. B. Venkatesh Verma is the retired IFS in this 7-member board. So the National Security Advisory Board being revamped amid the India-Pakistan tensions after the Pahalgam terror attack. Former RAW officer to head this board. My colleagues Pragya and Pradeep Datta have been tracking every development that is taking place in the national capital. Pragya, to you first. A revamped National Security Advisory Board amid the kind of multiple significant meetings taking place headed by the Prime Minister in the national capital.
Well, this is all the part of deliberation, and that is scheduled to take place. And in fact, it has been announced now. It is a very significant decision. And the members, a fresh blood, a fresh thinking, a line of suggestions that are in line with the government is also ensured while making this board. It is a very important, significant board. Take all the calls on national security, and this is a board that has a say on what the India is going to do in case of any attack, any sort of infiltration, etc. So, given the fact that this has been done, remember after all the meetings took place, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh and also Home Minister Amit Shah stayed back almost half an hour with Prime Minister, and there were some important deliberations that have been done, and it is then this decision has been announced, likely to be put on public platform, and this is, we are given to understand that these are some crucial, significant, strategic decisions that have been taken, in this particular meeting. But the staying of Raksha Mantri and Home Minister Amit Shah after all the meetings, in fact, when even the cabinet was over, signifies that there is a very close-knit group of Prime Minister where all the strategic decisions are being discussed. In fact, it is not even going to the Union CCS or CCEA. In fact, it means that there are some important decisions that are being kept very closely, very close to the chest and very secretive, as is required in such cases.
Pragya. Absolutely, Pragya. So as these multiple meetings, viewers, are taking place in the national capital, there was also a separate meeting that took place between the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, as well as the Defence Minister. That meeting is reportedly now concluded. But I have my colleague Rishabh also with us on the broadcast. Rishabh, one of the key factors in all of these meetings that are taking place today in the national capital is how India's foreign policy moves forward. India has reached out to several countries, G7, G20 countries, as far as its response to Pakistan is concerned after the Pahalgam attack. What are you picking up as far as these meetings are concerned? Anything that has come out, what transpired as far as the foreign policy is concerned?
Well, if we talk about the India's foreign policy, right now India's foreign policy is very clear that to bring the actual picture of Pakistan, the actual image of Pakistan in front of the world. We have seen Indian ambassadors, Indian high commissioners reaching out there, to their respective MFAs in their host countries, speaking to them, giving them dossiers of the involvement of Pakistan in various terror activities in India and how the cross-border linkages have been established during investigations. Apart from that, if we talk about how India is doing it, India has reached out to G7 countries, India has reached out to G20 countries, countries like US, Israel, United Kingdom, for that matter, other countries as well. Even countries like Turkey or China has not clearly sided with Pakistan, if we talk about that. If you see Chinese statements, the way Chinese statements have come in, that they are in favor of the impartial probe, or for that matter, none of them have actually said that what happened in Pahalgam, Pakistan is not behind that. That is something that is yet to be heard from any new corner in the world. And the way, we saw the UK Parliament discussing Pahalgam attack. We have seen the various bodies in US government talking about Pahalgam attack, and the way UNSC statement has also come in, terrorism is something where everyone stands with India.
Yes, Rishabh, I'll come back to you right now on the broadcast. I'm joined by Colonel Thapar. Colonel Thapar, your first thoughts about, all these hectic parleys that have been taking place in the national capital, but simultaneously we see lies coming out of Pakistan, quite rattled that country that perpetrates terrorism on Indian soil and elsewhere.
Yeah, actually, it's very good that they're doing whatever they're doing. But it's 8 days today, since the incident took place. And all these parleys and all these actions are required to be taken much, much earlier. And anyway, now they have done it. And let us see what ultimately Pakistan gets, what it deserves fairly and squarely. Nice and proper. All these things going on, we must in the end have some real result.
That's right. Colonel V.N. Thapar, thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your perspective. Yes, we need decisive action, viewers. Yes, we need concrete action on ground when it comes to India's response to Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. And that response at the moment is being strategized in the national capital. All eyes on what transpires in these multiple meetings that have been taking place under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The CCS has concluded. The CCPA was held. The CCEA and the cabinet meeting is also scheduled. We're also joined by Major General K.K. Sinha on the phone line on the broadcast. General Sinha, your first response to all these hectic parleys that are taking place. Yes, India needs to give a befitting response, but at the time and place of our choosing. And that is something that we have to strategize very, very carefully at the moment.
Ranjan, yeah, absolutely. A very, very, well thought of, which is supposed to be, because Prime Minister has given a directive style of command. He has given the complete freedom. And this, in the military parlance, we say a directive style of command, in which the political aim, military aim, diplomatic aim are clearly laid out, what we want to achieve. Thereafter, there are a lot of advisory boards which have come up, because when you have to have a synergy, because it is going to be a tri-service response, including other responses with multi-prong, when you are, because you are going for a very big thing and with a very high aim. So it is very important to have, because that only creates synergy, that only creates integration. And integration of national power, which has to be unleashed to the enemy, so that because we want to achieve something very bigger. It is not a knee-jerk action. It is not something which is just utopian. It is nothing, nothing where, we are going to do it, which have got its repercussions, but we will do something very big, which the world will see, and we can achieve only through these means. If you have a very synergized, all round, you carry out, so that you can, when you retribute on ground, everything is well thought of and well analyzed.
That's right. General Sinha, thanks very much for joining us on Times Now and sharing your perspective. As General Sinha said, viewers, this is, a carefully thought out strategy. This should be a carefully thought out strategy and not a knee-jerk reaction. Pradeep, we've been showing our viewers these visuals that have come out of 7 LKM. The Prime Minister leading all of these meetings, whether it's on security, whether it's political affairs. We're also expecting one on economic affairs, and eventually the cabinet meeting later in the day. Obviously, a lot of considerations being given to trade, to economy, to diplomacy, to military. Everything is being considered before taking any decisive concrete action against Pakistan.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Why they are doing so? Because one, they are also trying to analyze that what will be the response of the adversary in case of the kinetic reaction which there will be going from the Indian side. Because this time, India has made up its mind there is going to be a strong retribution with great enormity, and it will be of greater scale than what really happened after what happened during Balakot strike, or it was the surgical strike that was carried out after Uri attack. And so, during this meeting, they are discussing, strategizing military aspect. They are strategizing about the diplomatic response. response, about the political narrative, how they are going to, in fact, also build in kind of a global viewpoint about the country. And they're also going to convey it to the world that, see, ours is a nation where the blood is not cheap, but as a government, we have to take care about our citizens. Off and on for the last several decades, Pakistan had been spilling blood of innocent people here in India. So now the time has come that we should teach them a lesson, and this time we are going to hit them hard, and that is going to hurt them out. Also, they are going to provide the world community about the dossier that they have prepared about the Pakistan involvement in various terror-related activities, and especially this Pahalgam attack, so that they are able to nail Pakistan lies, because Pakistan had been peddling lies and completely denying its role in any kind of a terror-related activity, including Pahalgam attack. So India is well prepared for everything. During this meeting, they discussed about the economic measures. They discussed about how they are going to choke Pakistan economically, make them struggle for each and every penny, and other military options also were discussed about, because those military options can't be something that can be discussed in open. But yes, they discussed about that. One thing is clear, that those options, whatever India will be utilizing, there will be complete secrecy, there will be an element of surprise, and yes, there will be a shocking impact that will be left on Pakistan in this time.
Absolutely, Pradeep. So strategic, decisive action is what we're looking at on part of India when we talk about a response for that dastardly attack on unarmed innocent civilians. Pradeep and Rishabh, thanks very much for joining us at the moment and getting us the latest from the national capital. Viewers, we will keep getting you the minute-to-minute updates from the national capital as and when they happen. But right now, it's time for a short break. Stay tuned to Times Now.